double coverage.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom, joined by the great man, Sauce. How are you, big fella?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Big week in sport. We had some amazing fun at Tracon, which we'll talk about a little bit later in Hobby Talk. And we've seen the UFC fights. Sugar Sean absolutely dominate. We'll talk about that a bit later. And it's a big run into the finals in the AFL, let me tell you, because there's a lot of things that can change with a few results should they go certain ways this weekend, and we'll have a look at the ladder and break it down for you, ladies and gentlemen.
There is a lot happening. Yep, it was Tricon was great. We definitely will have a chat about that. Dan the car man in the chat already. He's given us some shit, saying that we're a bit late. Hello, James. How are you? And Jimmy. Adam, what's up, mate? It was actually nice spending the Sunday with you. Adam actually came down. That's Dream Theatre Cards, and he spent some time with us at Tricon, and then came to the pub with us, watched the fight with us. Watch me call O'Malley to win at the end of the first round. I watched the first round. I said, "This is what's going to happen."
Yeah.
O'Malley's just going to do this, and when it opens up, he's either going to knock him out with the first hit, or he's going to rock him and fuck him up, and that's exactly what he did. 2 minutes into the second, he just sent him to the shadow realm, Sauce, as they say. It was unbelievable. All right, let's get into the AFL. And it was a big round leading into the last week of the season, which will then be heading into finals. And the Lions started off like a house on fire, defeating, I don't know if I'm not going to say they're premiership favourites anymore. Collingwood, they've dropped off. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. They lose by 24. This game was played at Marvel, not at the G. Lions look pretty good. They stopped the Pies where they could. The run, they were just all over them. So good win by them. I don't know if you caught this one, Sauce. They're just too good for them, to be honest. Next up, we had the biggest game of the round, and that was Richmond versus North Melbourne. And it was good to see we lost again. We don't want any more wins, and
it's firming up good for you, Dom.
We'll see why in about 7 games' time in this fixture.
Congratulations, Jack Zeeble. He retired, and unfortunate.
Congratulations and commiserations at the same time.
Terrible actions, mate. Two of the perpetrators have been caught. So let's hope the third one gets nailed down. But that's pretty pathetic and weak act. Weak act.
King hit over the weekend.
3 on 1. They're tough guys, mate. Tough guys. Real tough.
Lemons. Straight up lemons.
Lemons.
Then we had the Suns versus the Blues. And the Blues, they rallied in this game and they got the job done. And big Charlie Curnow, he was the man of the moment in this game. Taking the big grab out back, and everyone was loving him. The Blue Broad's losing the plot, and everyone's losing the plot.
The
lead is in another stratosphere, Source. I told you this a few weeks ago.
The lead's in another universe, mate. Even NASA can't find it with their technology. That's how far the lead is away from the top of the container, mate. It's well and truly off.
Fuck, it's unbelievable. They're losing the plot, and rightly so. So they get the 4-point win. Great win by them. Big news, obviously, in Gold Coast. Yesterday, Damien Hardwick announced, I think 6 years, I think he's signed for, Source. So massive there. Terms and agreements, I have no idea how much he's going to be on for the 6 years, but unreal. He's gone over there.
Big statement.
He lost the...
He's come out and said, 80% of the first premiership winning team is already here.
Yeah, said that. He also said when he left Richmond that he's done everything he could, and he's done with coaching, and quick turnaround in 3 months. So pretty good. He also said he's not the Messiah, and rightly so, he's not. The Messiah was on the show last week, so that's exactly right. You're not the Messiah, Dimmer. There's only one, correct. And he's been running rampant too this week on the socials, so it's been unbelievable. But yeah, they've played some good football though, Gold Coast at times this season. So he might not be wrong. 80% of the list to win the premiership could be there. Matty says Dusty to Suns next year potentially. Dim is
Dusty
gone.
to retire, mate. Dusty to retire.
Dusty's been good this year. He's been very good. And welcome, Matty, as well. Welcome. The next game, we'll move on and roll on. And I was a bit shocked at this result. I opened my phone. I genuinely thought Fan Footy was playing a gimmick on anyone that uses their platform. Went to go check the Supercoach scores, and literally, I thought the whole team for GWS was on 100. It was unbelievable. They defeat the Dons, mind you, fighting for the finals, Dons, by 126 points. Saucy, over to you.
Well, I don't even know where to start. Pathetic, insipid. I turned it off after halftime. Halftime, I couldn't watch another minute of it. The pressure around the ball was non-existent. The skill level not up to AFL standards. To keep bombing it long down the line, just a complete joke. And season on the line. Did the players really want it? Did the coaching staff really want it? It's just there's a few things there that are lacking, and we need some improvement. That's for sure. I feel like we may be in a position. I hope the coaching staff and the selection committee don't put us in a position where we hang on to players for too long who may not, may not really be up to it.
Signed Heppel for another year.
Yeah, look,
today.
I think that's not the worst. You need depth. His experience. We're young down back there. I feel like if we do a bit more recruiting, we could probably get some other guys in there. But we need to move off. To be honest, there's no point keep playing him. I feel like they probably sign him to have depth just in case they get injuries, and then he can come in as a guy. He's ready-made player. And can come in and help the team chop out. But we really should be focusing on playing our next guys and younger guys and getting games into them, to be honest. But yeah, look, it was a terrible, terrible performance. I said last week, I said, we'll lose this game. I mean, I was so confident we would lose. And I thought it could be a shellacking too, because, mate, the way we played against North Melbourne, the way we played against West Coast, the way we played against Western Bulldogs, they were just terrible, terrible performances. We got lucky in two of those performances. North could have beat us. West Coast, we won the game in the last minute, kicking a goal. They could have been two losses already, and and then probably it probably look worse for the coaching staff and the players. Should they have lost those games and then got pumped in this fashion? But yeah, it was just terrible. It was just a terrible, terrible performance, and yeah, there needs some roster changes. There needs to be some roster changes. And look, the Giants look like they're steaming into the finals. So props to them. After I thought they would finish outside the 8 this year. Look like they're not too bad. Not going too bad at all.
I think I put them at 6th. I said they'd finish 6th in our preseason.
No, I don't think I had them in there.
Or 7th. I said they'd make finals. Everyone was writing them off. What? Because they lost Hopper and Taranto. They lost the guy that didn't play for the whole season last year because he was injured in Hopper, and they lost Taranto. That's fine. The rest of their team's talented. Tom Green didn't really come into his own till this season. So what they lost in Taranto, they gained in Green. So Sam Taylor's come on. He's been unbelievable as a defender. You don't want to play him. That's all I'm saying. You don't want to play teams that are in form leading into finals, and that's one of the teams.
Yeah, they are playing good footy.
Next to the Blues and the Ds. I know the Blues beat the Ds last week, but they're two in-form sides at the moment, Carlton and Melbourne. Then we had the Saints just rolling the Cats by 33 points. Good win by them. And then controversy on Saturday night. Ben Keys kicks the goal. After we said on this podcast last week, what did we say, Sauce? What did we say? Everything is a goal until you prove otherwise. If it's inconclusive, it's a goal. He missed the behind post, or the goal post by an absolute mile. Then Gil McLaughlin has to come out in his sling on Sunday morning. You know, you don't want to be bothering Gil in a sling. He's obviously had some surgery. He's probably had tennis elbow. I don't know what he's had. And he's had to come out and admit they were wrong. First and foremost, I can't believe they actually admitted that they were wrong. Well, I can actually. It's the AFL admitting to something, not the umpires. So I couldn't believe it. And I also still can't believe that they haven't got this shit sorted. I'm telling you, if you're going to next season, Source, there has to be two things. Two things in place. It's a goal unless proven otherwise. And if you don't have 8K cameras, get rid of it. Seriously, get rid of it. It's got to go. Straight up. It's not that hard. You spend so much time in America at the NFL kissing everyone's ass.
True.
All the execs over there. I don't understand. I actually don't understand. So they get robbed, potentially costs them a final spot, potentially. The Swans roll on, winning by a point. Then on Sunday, we had the D's defeating the Hawks by 27 and Port Adelaide beating Fremantle at home by 16. But the biggest game, Source, the best game, and I've never... Jamie Cripps is my player of the week. If he doesn't get 3 Brownlow votes in this game, I'll lose the absolute plot. The West Coast Eagles, I was worried because we had about 14 percentage points to make up on the ladder. It's practically impossible the last 2 weeks of football. The West Coast has done North Melbourne a favour. They defeated the Western Bulldogs, cost them a final spot in doing so, and given us the wooden spoon. Now, people might say you shouldn't be happy you won the wooden spoon. When you haven't won a game in bloody 10 weeks, who gives a shit where you finish, mate? So I'll take the wooden spoon.
Like 19
I'll
weeks,
take Harley Reid. I'll take Harley Reid, Source. I'll take him.
Yeah, you will. You will. Why not?
Hopefully they give us compensation for Mackay that's going to Essendon. So apparently. So we could potentially get the second pick as well, they reckon.
Well, you better not take the bloke from WA.
I'm taking the Perth guy. We're not taking the Perth guy. We'd be dumb to take the Perth guy. We're not going to.
Imagine you do. Imagine you did. You'd just be like, you haven't learned your lesson. It would be pretty funny.
Yeah, for you it would be. Not for me, it wouldn't. I'll actually start liking Horn Francis if we take the Perth guy. It just proves that it actually was North's fault. So, anyway, let's get to the comments quickly before we get to round 24. Dons didn't surprise me, but surprised dogs shit the bed. You were watching the Eagles game with eagle eyes for your Roo boys. Yes, I was. I'd like to say it wasn't me that King hit Zeeble, some other dipshit from Narry. Hope he's recovering well. No one deserves that to happen to him. Completely agree.
100%.
Magda says, hello, Doma and Sauce.
Magda.
Hello, Magda. Global's in. Oh, I've got a big turnout here so far. Adam says, do you reckon changes need to happen on and off the field at Bomberland? You did answer that. You said yes. Crows got robbed. Correct. Callum Mills hit the post. Yes, he did. Replay the match, says James.
Replay the point.
They could do what the NRL do, have the close ones reviewed. If you need to come back like VAR, so be it. That's fair enough. Alternative is shit. Completely agree. I heard Gillo had some muscle implants because you can't lift Doma. What are you talking about? Yep, up the Kangas. Ben Mackay is a stinker. I'll take pick 2 as well. Yeah, he hasn't been great this year. You got something to celebrate.
He's playing not to get hurt, mate.
Yeah, look at this. You got something to celebrate, Doma, after United loss and the wooden spoon. Did you get the package?
I haven't checked, dude. Probably did. I'll go check tomorrow. For you, Global.
James, don't worry about United. I'll get to... What did I call him that time? Manchester I don't even remember what I called them when I bagged them.
Could be a long
All the-
season for you, Thomas.
Yeah, I know. As long as we finish ahead of Chelsea,
Yeah.
and I'll
Fair point.
explain why when we get to EPL, I'll actually explain why. You'll know. All right, let's get to the games this week. We got Essendon Collingwood Friday night blockbuster
Pies.
at the G.
Pies. Pies by 30 points.
All right, I'm going Pies. Saucy's going Pies. Hawthorn Fremantle at the G.
Hawthorn.
I'm going Hawthorn as well. North versus Gold Coast.
Gold Coast.
I'm hoping Gold Coast win. Don't do anything stupid, North. Fight gallantly, but lose. That's all I care about. Brisbane versus St Kilda at the Gabba.
Brisbane.
I'm also going Brisbane. You've won this bet, by the way, the tipping. So, Geelong Bulldogs, GMHBA.
I don't know, mate. I'm going to go with Geelong just because it's down there.
I'm going to go Dogs to lose another tip. Fuck it. Why not? Been shit all season. West Coast Adelaide, Optus.
Adelaide. No.
I'm going Adelaide. They'll bounce back. They'll be pissed off. Port Adelaide, Richmond at Adelaide Oval.
Port Adelaide.
Yeah, I'm going Port as well. Sydney, Melbourne at the SCG.
Ooh. Oh, Sydney are locked in there. Both of these teams are locked in there. Even the D's, they're locked in the 4 too. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. We'll go the D's.
No, I'm going D's as well. And the last game, this is a ripper to end off the season. Carlton versus GWS at Marvel.
Giants need to win. Giants need to win because Bulldogs have better percentage. So if Bulldogs go win and Giants lose, they'll be out of the eight.
Surely they can't beat Geelong.
Well, it could happen. Geelong's lost the game down there this season. And Jeremy Cameron's been put on ice, mate. He's out. He's done. It's been put on ice. Heard it today on the radio.
Maybe I've tipped it correctly.
So
Blues could potentially drop down to... Oh, they'll drop to 6th. They'll play Sydney here if they lose. And St Kilda wins.
Who's the Saints versus? The Saints won't beat Brisbane.
Fuck, they're going to have to play each other potentially again the next week. Blues, GWS.
Potentially. All right, interesting. I'm going to go GWS.
I'm going GWS also because you know what? They were my roughie to do well this season. I got to back them in. They're my new Collingwood. Difference is I'm back on Collingwood now. So since round 23 this year, I won't stop tipping them for the rest of for whoever, how long, who cares? Like I'll just tip them. Magda says, rest the team, Ruse. Yes. Cardboard Magic, welcome. Cats to win, says Magda. Crows and Tex to kick 15 and Coleman after that shitstorm. They're playing West Coast. Cats are resting everyone. Teams locked in. Might rest some players this week too. Cats lose. And yeah, Adelaide can't make finals. So interesting. All right, Sauce. We are going. Oh, I'll bring up the ladder.
Absolutely
bring up the ladder. I know everyone wants to see the ladder. Bring it up.
Come on,
I
mate.
saw the Messiah in the chat too somewhere. Put a comment. Here he is. Oh, Blues Chiefs double, he reckons. Stop
Blues
it.
Chiefs doubles. Get out of here.
You're being ridiculous, mate. The fact that you put the Chiefs is a joke. The Blues, yeah, that was a good pick. Here's the ladder. Pies on top. A game clear of Brisbane and Port, followed by Melbourne in 4th, who have locked up their top 4 spot. All 4 of them have. It's just where they finish is the question. Then we got the Blues, who have wrapped up a top 4 spot as well, along with St Kilda and Sydney. Where they finish is also a big question. We'll wait and see. GWS clinging on. The Dogs or the Bombers. Well, the Dogs need to win. Bombers doesn't matter. They got no chance unless they win by 300 points this week.
No chance.
No chance. And that's pretty much it. The rest of the teams have failed. Simple as that. Except for North in the bottom 8. They succeeded because they got the number 1 pick. So celebrate that. Yeah. Europa.
That's how you're stooping low when you're celebrating the number 1 pick.
Yeah. Number 1 in something, baby. It's number 1 in something, Sauce. That's all that matters. Number 1 in something. Yeah. They don't give prizes. They don't give good prizes for second, but they do for first, and that's what you get for being shit. You actually get rewarded.
Then they leave your club after a year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolute Le Mans. All right, let's go to the results in the EPL for this week. Oh, we'll start off with the Women's World Cup. Congratulations to Spain. Thank goodness that they won.
Viva España.
I'm so happy that they won. I'm so happy.
Honestly, they played the best football out of any team. They definitely played the best football. So they deserve to win.
Matty said, can I have a lemon for the goal umpire this week, Saucy?
That's a good point. Probably could have thought that through.
You know you can give a lemon to, Sauce. The head of Spanish football got so excited. He bashed the women's captain for Spain. That's how excited he got.
What?
Have you not seen this? You of all people. You haven't seen this video?
Or at the game or after the game?
When they were getting their medals.
You joking?
In front of everyone, live on television. You haven't seen this? Oh my gosh. No. Oh my gosh. Oh, we got to show this on the pod. Luis Rubiales, the president of Spanish Football Federation, apologized on Monday for kissing star player Jenny Hermoso on the lips after Spain the Women's World Cup.
What's he doing?
Look at this. I don't need to play the video. You'll see. So what he does is he kisses her on the cheek a couple times, and he's so happy, and then he does this, Sauce.
What's he doing?
Oh, it's gonna play. It might actually play. Why is my internet so shit at the moment?
Oh no.
I just want to see him. It's just so slow. It doesn't matter. Anyway, he's kissed her. We've seen
the little preview. Yeah, that's all right.
Very funny. He's just So he's apologized. It's very awkward. Clearly.
What a lemon.
What a lemon. Very funny. Absolute peanut. All right, let's get to the EPL. Congratulations to Spain. Well done. Here we go. Arsenal. We'll start from the bottom to the top. Let's go. Nottingham defeat Sheffield 2-1. Brighton defeat Wolves 4-1. Liverpool defeat Bournemouth 3-1. Good performance by them. Fulham lose to Brentford 3-0. Manchester United lose to Tottenham 2-0. We'll get to that in a second. City over Newcastle 1-0. Great game. Villa smashed Everton 4-0. West Ham defeat Chelsea 3-1. And Arsenal defeat Palace 1-0. We'll start with our game, and then I'll throw it to you because you played this morning, Sauce. Fernandez missed the sitter of all sitters. In all honesty, we hit the post about 4 times. We probably should have scored multiple times. Our brand of football's so slow. I was watching a couple highlights as well. Like, I went back, I watched the extended version, then I went back again and I just watched the quick highlights. Because in quick highlights, that means that the highlight should be quick, Sauce. So when you're moving the ball, like the ball's dropping to Garnacho on the side of the box, and instead of like doing a skill move or a dribble move and then getting the ball or whipping it in, he stands there like sizing him up as if he thinks he's Messi. You're not Messi. You're not even in the top 10 best young kids on the planet. I don't care what all these lemons are saying. You're nowhere near it, in my opinion. He's a good player, but between him and Sancho, we're more like Sancho Relaxo over there at United. We've got no idea what we're doing. Anthony's cooked. He's done. He's been the reports is his domestic abuse against his partner. She's written up a 70-page thesis on what he's freaking done to her. That's how much of a lemon he is. And you know what? I genuinely believe he's done it, Source, because I've seen videos of fans going up to him, like young kids asking for his autograph when he's been at a shopping center, and his bodyguards have stepped in and told him to get effed. And he's like, I'm not signing. And he does this shit. I genuinely believe he's a spud. Like, as a person. He's a gun player, but I reckon he's a bit of a Lamont. So I do believe that he's done it. The other Lamont, Greenwood, we've got a roster spot because we're not taking him back. As much as everyone said, oh, you're taking him back. No, the reports are, we're not taking him back. He's gone. He's getting axed from the club. He's done. So Rocket Rod, that Color Blast, I told you to sell it to me as a coaster for $5. You're not going to get more than $5. So at the Hobby Hangout, give it to me for nothing.
The best offer you were going to get, $5.
Either $5 or you give it to me for free. I think you want to make some money on it, so I'll give you $5 for it. It's going to sit on my table. I'll invite you over for a beer, mate. You can even rest your beer on it. I'm not afraid of any watermarks. That guy is a lemon. And I put a lemon in your Corona too, just for Mason Greenwood. He's a dud. All right. We were shit. Ange, fantastic. Gets the first win for Tottenham at home as well. What a way to start off their campaign at home. Oh.
Undefeated. Two games in.
Yeah, they drew. They drew last week, didn't they?
They drew last week, yeah.
Yeah. So good on him. I'm happy Postecoglou. I'm not a fan of Tottenham, but I'm happy with whatever he does and whatever he achieves. He's a gun, mate. He was done dirty here in Australia with Australian football. He was done dirty. Yeah, as we've spoken about a long time ago on this podcast, he's done dirty. So he deserves all the success, mate. So well done to him. Saucy, Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Odegaard on the score sheet.
Yeah, look, not our greatest performance, but Crystal Palace very well organised, double teaming Saka on the wing. I feel like we didn't move the ball enough, but in the saying that, Nketiah had some chances in the first half, and he probably could have kicked a goal. In the end, we catch them sleeping on a free kick, and we get a little quick free kick in, and Nketiah gets in behind. He nips the ball away from the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper goes to ground, brings him to ground, penalty, clear as day. Odegaard steps up, pops into the back of the net. And then about the 60th minute or something, 61st minute, Tomiyasu gets a yellow card for apparently time wasting on a throw-in. And then about 4 minutes later, the guy spins him on halfway and absolutely turns him. And he literally just grabbed him a little bit. And the guy just drops to the floor and he cops a second yellow. We've got a red card around the 65th minute. We ended up having to see the game out with 10 men, which in the end ended up being a grinder result, but a good result regardless, being able to get the win. We probably, deserved the win. In the end, they had a penalty claim that got turned away. So, look, there's always a bit of luck, especially if you go down to 10 men and able to hold on for nearly 30 minutes of football, close to 30 minutes of football, and hold on and then get the 1-0 win. So there's always going to be a bit of luck involved. But it was just good to get the win, and we're 2 wins, Man City's 2 wins. That's the competition right there. So we got to keep going in that fashion, and we've got a couple of tough games coming up. We've got a bit of a tough run. I think we got in our next 5 or 6 games, we got, I think, you guys, Chelsea, City, all in our next 6 to 7
That's
games.
Good, but you need to get them out of the way. If you can pinch some points, it'd be fantastic. So
it'll be interesting to see if we're up to it.
The bet that we had that I was talking about last segment, and get a bit more in depth, there's a bet going at the moment between myself, the great man Sauce, and our too thick brother Manny over in the States. And there's no really any winner of the bet. Well, there is. There's 2 winners in the bet, and there's going to be 1 loser. The bet is whoever of our 3 teams, Chelsea, United, and Arsenal, finishes the lowest has to pay out a bet. We haven't even come to the terms yet. That was just the bet. So, Double Coverage family, feel free to put in the comments or offer up suggestions in the chat or DM us post-show on what you think the loser should have to do for the other two winners. And I can guarantee you right now, it is the worst bet of all time and one of the best bets of all time for Sauce, because he's just going to sit back and laugh for a whole season because he knows that United's borderline trash, but he knows for sure that Chelsea is a heaping pile of trash, a steaming pile of trash. So it's between those two teams. So I don't know. I'm not confident. I said we finish sixth or lower. That was what I said pre-season. So
look what Adam said here. Lower gets a tramp stamp tattoo of the other two's choosing.
I'm not getting a Chelsea tattoo or an Arsenal tattoo. No way I'm doing that.
No. We'll come up with something.
There is no chance I'm doing that. Dan says United will be lowest. Well, I genuinely reckon they could.
Of course, Dan's going to say that. He's a Chelsea fan.
Magda said the loser has to buy a supply of lemons for the loser the whole of next year. I'll gladly finish last then because I'll just go down to me in-law's place. My father-in-law's got so many lemones on the tree. I could send them FedEx to Manny and just drop them off to Sauce easily. So
yeah, you got to send him some. I found some nice lemon spread. It goes very good
spread.
on your pancakes. You make some nice pancakes, bit of lemon spread on there, bit of lemon spread. It's beautiful.
Send that to Blaise as well when we finally get him on for the Le Mans. We might have to do a double feature this year. Let's get to this week's schedule. Well, Chelsea's in a good spot this week. They got Luton at home. If they lose that, we'll pay out all bets. Straight up. We're going to pay him out 3 weeks into the season if they lose to Luton this week at Stamford Bridge. Then we got Bournemouth, Tottenham. Arsenal have Fulham at home. Brentford, Palace, Everton, Wolves, United at Old Trafford against Nottingham. That's the midnight game. Arsenal's also playing at midnight Sauce, so we could potentially get a watch party if you're around. Goal Rush will be on, so we can kind of do something, match up both of our sides. Brighton, West Ham, Burnley, Aston Villa, Sheffield United, Man City, and the big game Monday morning at 1:30 a.m. is Newcastle versus Liverpool. So that'll be an absolute cracker. But we're not done there yet, Sauce, for soccer. As you know, last week, you all thought I was taking the absolute piss. I definitely was not taking the absolute piss. The Saudi Pro League, I'm giving you the results. I know you love the Ls, so we're going to give you the Ls. So we've got Al Hilal 1-1 against Al Fayha. Al Ittihad 2-0 over Al Tai. Abha defeated Al Raid 1-0. Al Hazem lose to my favorite name team, Al Ettifaq 2-0.
That's my team.
Al Nassr lose again to Al Tawun 2-0. Al Wada defeat Al Shabab 3-1. Al Aqdoud lose 3-1 to Al Fateh. Al Ali defeat Al Khalij 3-1. And Damak and Al Riyadh get the 2-2 draw. Saucy. The games this week, because I just want to read the names all over again. Al Tai versus Al Wada. Al Ali versus Al Aqdoud. Al Riyadh play against Benzi and Al Ittihad. Al Ettifaq play Al Khalij. I have to emphasize it every time. Al Raid play Al Hilal. Al Fayha versus Al Hazem. Al Fateh versus Al Nassr. I think Ronaldo played shit the other day, so hopefully he can bounce back. Al Shabab versus Damak and Al Tawun versus Abba. Big news. Saucy and I, post-pod, went and had a look at some... James. You're going to spell the last word FAQ, and then I'd be able to say it. 10 play, Paramount Plus. If you've got Paramount Plus or 10 play, they've actually got highlights. So they have feature games, which they show live, which will be an Al Nassr game, an Al Ali game, an Al Ittihad game, or an Al Hilal game because they're the 4 big clubs, but they have highlights and match replays of every fixture on 10 Play. Remember 12 months ago, Source, when they didn't give this league one little slither of airtime? Anyway, this is my new favorite league. I'm loving it. I have gone and watched the magazine show. They've got a magazine show there, mate. The highlights. I go watch it. Go watch the goal scored. I forget his name. I'll click on it here, mate. I'll get his name. For Al Hilal, he kicked a mint goal. It was Al Hamdan. Bro, his goal was unbelievable. So go watch it. Trust me, it was good. Yeah, I know you're laughing, Sauce. You're laughing. But when it's top 5, I'll be laughing alongside Ronaldo. We'll be
I'm trying to
laughing
find
together.
out how can you watch the highlights? Is there a way to watch the highlights? Can you watch them on YouTube? That's
Go to
the next level.
Template. Just go to Template.
They won't have all the highlights of all the games.
Yeah, the magazine show's got the highlights. It goes through every game. It goes for 30 minutes.
Al Tawun defeated Al Nassr. That's a big loss by Al Nassr, mate.
Yeah, I know. You don't need to say it. You don't need to bring it up again. That's my team, Al Nassr. Clearly.
Yeah, of course. With
No
Ronaldo.
shit.
Well, my team's Al Ittihad because that's got my boy Benzi in it.
Yeah, it is your boy. And Kante. You got Kante too. You all need to pick a team. You Portugal Ronaldo fans or something else. Magda says, Dan Messi's my GOAT. I love it. I love it. When they score a goal, does the commentator... I'm not even reading that comment, Adam. I'm not bringing it up. I'm not bringing it up. I'm not bringing it up.
Go to YouTube to see the comment, ladies and gentlemen.
No chance I'm bringing that up. Far out. All right. That's it for football for another week. A lot of people are going to be pretty pissed off because we haven't given Serie A any airtime. We give none of the Saudi League, man. That's where it's at. So, what says? Did you see that the goalkeeper for Ronaldo's team wasn't paying attention on kickoff and almost conceded? Yeah, man, he's in awe of Ronaldo. I'd be in awe too. I'd probably concede a goal. It's hard playing with the best ever, man. This week, Dutch Grand Prix at the CM.com Circuit Zandvoort in his home Grand Prix to win by 65 seconds.
64. Oh, I said 25, mate. You've gone next level here, mate.
He's just too good. Dutch Grand Prix, Sunday, 27th of August. It's 11 p.m. You can back that into watching the Newcastle-Liverpool game at 1:30 if you feel up for it, if you've got a day off the next day. So that's it. That's all I've got for you. We'll cover it a bit more. No, we didn't get the moves and everything in the break that we thought we were going to get. So it's been pretty quiet in F1, and it should all be ramping up again. And we'll chat about it next week on how bored we were watching this race on Sunday night. So over to you, Source. UFC, get into it because it's a huge card.
It was a massive card, Doma. And, well, let me tell you, when we went down to the Tracon, before I went down there, I had to spruce myself up. And I used none other than Roll Clean soap, the best soap in the business. And they keep you clean on and off the mats. Make sure you check them out, www.rollclean.com.au. Use the code double coverage at checkout for 20% off your first order. And you could tell, Dom, I was the freshest smelling bloke in the whole arena down there at Tracon. And then when we went and watched the fights at UFC, I was dangling side to side, left and right. I felt like I was O'Malley out there. That's how fresh I was. But, all right, Doma, it was a massive card, UFC 292. We watched it live. We checked it out. We seen a few of the fights towards the end. I'll run you through the main card, and we will then talk about the fights which we were able to tune in on. Marlon Vera gets the win over Pedro Munez in the bantamweight division in the third-round decision. In another fight in the bantamweight division, Mario Bautista gets the win over Damon Blackshear with a third-round decision. In the welterweight division, Ian Gary goes to 13-0 over Neil Magny it goes the distance, and he gets the third round decision, does Ian Gary. And then in the co-main event, the women's strawweight, Wei Li Zhang absolutely beat the shit out of Amanda Lemos for 5 rounds. And look, she's probably look, credit to Lemos, credit where credit is due. Didn't get knocked out, right? But could have easily at numerous times looked like she was on the verge of getting knocked out. Getting that Wei Li Zhang was on the verge of getting the finish.
She got lit up.
Yeah. It was a 5-round demolition.
It
Start to
lit
finish.
up. It was, unbelievable.
So, look, big win for Wei Li Zhang and remains the champion. And then in the main event, you had Aljamain Sterling defeated by Sugar Sean O'Malley with the KO in the second round. I'm sure you've seen it. It was clean as a whistle. And Doma, it was a baffling fight from Aljamain. Well, what we're watching, like what was his game plan? I mean, he talks this game before. He's going to grab him, bring him to ground. He hasn't faced a real grappler. He's saying all this bullshit beforehand, which in essence should have been what he was doing. He should have been trying to get taken to ground. Should have been trying to shoot for more takedowns.
We also find out that O'Malley didn't grapple for the last 3 weeks leading into the fight or whatever it was because he had an injury. And funnily enough, people go, "Oh yeah, he just said that in the press conference to make himself look good." He was on that that guy. He's done stuff with the Nelk boys. The real big bloke. Oh, he's saying that he can wrestle everyone at the moment and beat him in a MMA fight. Brandon something. I forget his name.
Okay.
If anyone knows who I'm talking about. Anyway, he was on a podcast with them and they filmed a week and a half before the pod. And he goes, "I'll tell you some stuff." And they filmed it live. And he goes, you just can't release it. Bradley Martin, that's it. He goes, just don't release it till after the fight. And he released the clip. And he talks about how he's like, "Oh, I don't want to get... If he grapples me, I'm cooked." He was saying it. He goes, "I've been injured for like 3 weeks, mate. If he grapples me, I'm going to be in so much trouble. Like, because his wrestling's so good and I'm injured. I'm practically..." And he said if it was a co-main event fight, not a main event fight, he goes, "I would have pulled out." That's what he said. He goes, if it was co, no, I wouldn't have fought because the purse.
You get more money for main event.
So he went in there and like I was just as baffled as what you were, because walking in to get lunch, Saucy was like, "Mate, he's just going to wrestle him. Like, this guy's wrestling is unbelievable. It's underrated. People just don't like this guy, and he's actually very good, but he should be wrestling and wrestling and wrestling." And then he goes, "Oh, who do you think will win it?" I go, "I'm going for Sugar Sean because I love him in the sport. Like, that's what I love for UFC." And I said, "You don't want to stand with this guy. It's the only thing.
No.
You don't want to stand with him. You stand with this guy, all he needs is a gap and a split second, and he's got that much power, it's unbelievable how much power he has.
Underrated power. I'm telling you, underrated power, Sugar Sean.
And I said to
Underrated.
Sauce,
He doesn't look big or
yeah.
anything, but he's got power in them hands.
Yeah, and we're saying like all it takes is that split second. It either when he hits you with the quick hook or straight right arm, all it takes is that to knock you out. Like, you'll be gone, lights out, or he'll rock you so badly that you don't know where you're going to be, and you'll be on the floor, and he'll just be beating the shit out of you. And lo and behold, Saucy's tactic that he thought he was going to use, he went to it like once, and then he ended up getting lit up. He got sent to the Shadow Realm. Fuck, unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. Saucy said it was the best strategy of a world champion ever, going in to defend his title.
Yeah.
Doing the complete opposite.
Exactly. That's what I said. I was like, what a peanut. And to rub it in, he was the last leg on a couple multis that I had going. It would have been, if he won, I would have been up a nice $120, but he loses, so I'll lose about $40. So I'm not happy with him, Aljamain. First of all, but just your game plan was absolutely peanut worthy.
Dan says there was talk for months that Aljo was going to pull out. I reckon his head wasn't in it. Bloke is a bum. Matt Tape said, hopefully Bradley Martin gets called out soon. Magda goes, Dan, who do I take first in the NFL fantasy draft? Will Greer. He's five times better than Kyler Murray. Magda, he's taking the piss. Do not take Will Greer if you got the number one pick in your fantasy draft. I don't know who you take. Maybe
every day of the week.
Yeah, Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. You take Hurts or Mahomes. I think. That's it. What else we got, Sauce? Card this week?
This week, and there is a card UFC Fight Night, Max Holloway versus the Korean Zombie. Jesus, this big fight card. I mean, Max Holloway, Korean Zombie, that's going to be a cracker. Those two guys can bang. Then in a light heavyweight, you got Anthony Smith against Ryan Spann. Featherweight, you got Giga Chigatse against Alex Caceres. And then there's a few other fights that kicks off from 10 p.m. And obviously, Doma, which we didn't mention last week, but just want to get this up. I can't remember. I remember Maddie mentioning last week, and we missed to mention it. Our guy, Honey Bear, I think he's changed his name on Instagram. Honey Bear MMA, I think he's called now. Amian Voller. He's going to be back in action, I believe, on the 26th of next month of September. He's back in action, defending, I think, one of his titles in the Adelaide circuit. I think it's called the XFC. So look out, our boy Damien Peter Voller with the title defense.
Dan says Holloway is going to put Zombie into retirement. No way he can handle another beating like Volk gave him. Global says, I fought a guy back in the day who looked like a jockey, and after he beat the shit out of me, I found out that he had a fight with GSP.
Imagine that.
Magda says, I'm feeling lemon spray coming soon. I don't know. It depends on how he's feeling.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Depends on how he's feeling. All right, let's get straight into hobby talk this week. Let's get into it straight away. I wanted to show you this because I mentioned it to you before we got on, and you said you hadn't seen it. So,
show me. Speak to me.
You got to talk to me. You got to talk me through this. So, share screen, share tab audio.
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, but it's going to be in the Brave. Sorry, it's going to be in the Brave tab.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yeah, or there or another tab. Doesn't matter. But
where the hell did I just? Where did I just put this?
What have you done?
Oh, I've lost the plot. Anyway, I might just bring it up. I'll bring it up. You don't need the audio. I just need you to just go on a rant pretty much and just lose the plot. Because you'll be disgusted.
Oh, here we go.
I'm happy for him. The blokes at MJ Trading Cards. I'm not upset at them. This is absolutely unbelievable, mind you. Saucy's just going to lose the plot at Panini, and then it's going to just roll into them losing NFL, and he's going to be like, I'm not surprised. All right, so here he is. Obviously, you can't hear this. Watch this, Sauce. Too many cards in the pack. Gets rid of all the base. Bang. 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 Bang.
What the fuck?
2 Paolo Banchero autos. 3 Chet Holmgren.
3 Chet.
What
the hell has happened there?
Murray, Matherin. There was an Ant-Man auto in there too.
Well done, Panini. Well done, Panini. Finally giving loaded boxes
to anyone
to the right.
Not to Backyard Breaks.
Not to
I was
make
surprised.
outbreak. No, but that's clearly Panini's lack of good quality control. That's clearly a F up on their part in the packaging department who put those cards together, or the packaging machine. They weren't uh, you know, laid out or dispersed properly along the packaging line. That's pretty crazy. Congrats to the collectors and people that were in that
Yeah,
break,
bloody
because I
oath.
mean they're not going to give it back. You take it every day. I mean, I'm sure you've entered in a number of breaks and got absolutely shafted. So congratulations to the hitters in the break. But that's just it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, that they don't care about the quality of some of their cards coming out. People putting back claims back for certain cards and everything, and they don't really care about it. So why would collectors care when it goes the other way? I just feel like you never know what could happen down the track. You never know. You might get some people with no autos in a box. That's the repercussions of all those autos being in that one packet. So
Or they give the hit of the box as a redemption replacement. So it's up to you.
don't worry,
how
mate.
you
They're not
want to
going to
do
have
it.
the license, or they're going to have any authority, so they're not even going to redeem any of these things. Why do you think they've been trying to get it out as many as possible, mate? I reckon I don't know. They're trying to weasel their way out of
Fun
having
fact:
to buy
Tops,
all these
Tops.
redemptions.
Dan says, "Fun fact: Tops own the manufacturing plant, so the same issue will persist for them." Penny don't give a Shizen anymore. Standards at Panini have dropped off since they lost the license.
They were never that good before to begin with, to be honest.
So obviously, that was some interesting stuff that happened during the week, and good on them. Like I said, we're happy for the crew down at MJ Trading Cards for that. You can't begrudge that. It just shows Panini's lost the plot. Obviously, the big news today was this bad boy right here, Source. So just add this into the stream. You don't need to listen to this. You can go. There's so many videos talking about this, but this is someone else. Obviously, what's his name? Oh, I've gone blank. Reported it. You'll think of it. Darren Ravel. The NFL. This is from Ari Mayrov. He says the NFLPA has terminated its trading card agreement with Panini effective immediately. Fanatics now holds exclusive rights to produce NFLPA branded trading cards. Email was just sent out informing contract advisors of the decision. It says down here, NFL Players Inc. has terminated its trading card agreement with Panini effective immediately. Fanatics has the exclusive right to make NFLPA branded trading cards. This decision has no impact on any individual player's contractual agreement or agreements with Panini. If you represent any player or players with an existing Panini agreement, the NFLPA recommends that you encourage the player or players to fulfill his contractual commitments to Panini. If you have any questions, please contact so-and-so. So the gist of it is they're cooked. And because they're cooked, if you have got already an agreement signed with them up until that expires, which will be probably the end of this year, or even if it's next year, they potentially, I don't know, they can't use name, image, and likeness. So I don't, it's just the contract will run out. They just got to pay him straight out. So I think what will happen is whatever a schedule for the rest of this year that's planned, it will get produced. And then when the last product in the line is set to be released, even if there was 25 products left for NFL, if they have 5 that are ready to go, they won't be able to produce the last 20, I'm assuming. That's it. Because they've lost the license now. So if they've got the 5 products in production, they'll roll them out for the rest of the year, get them sorted, for example, and then starting fresh for next season, or I don't know, they could potentially be releasing them by the end of this year. I don't know. Like Fanatics are taking over, so Fanatics are going to be releasing product early.
Mate. It's
I don't know what's going on.
I just feel like once that Fanatics has slowly been encroaching that, like once they got that license, when they did, they've slowly just been trying to take everything. And who knows what their plan is, what this ploy is, what does it mean?
Hey,
And this is the big question that what's going to happen with all the redemptions? I mean, that's why, as much as it pains me to say, if you're one of the lucky people to get one of those nice Ronaldo canvas creations to 25 for some other outstanding basketball redemptions and whatever you've had at Panini, good luck to you, right? Good luck to you that you got something.
you'll be
right?
getting cards of this bloke, mate. That's what I'm saying. You'll be getting cards of this bloke. This is
Take
it.
that, right? Take that down.
You'll
Get it
be
off,
getting cards
right?
of that bloke. That's
Get it
it.
off.
That's what you'll be getting.
Congrats to you, because Panini's been stuffing you around for so long, so you might as well take that W. But I don't know what, for every W that there's for a collector out there that's had a big win in this situation, I'm telling you, there's going to be 5 other collectors that are going to get absolutely shafted. And there's going to be a lot of hard luck stories. I'm just telling you, ladies and gentlemen, be prepared. If you've got outstanding redemptions, be prepared to not get anything at all in return. Nothing. That's it. You're done. You're getting nothing.
Dan agrees. He says, I'm Magda answering his question because he wants to know what happens with the redemptions. He says, I'm not sure if they'll have a choice. I don't think they're allowed to redeem them given the issue. If you lose a license, you can't, you can produce the product, but you produce it at the risk of your business getting sued by the NFLPA because you haven't actually got the license anymore. So you actually are legally producing name, image, and likeness of players.
I just don't understand how non-binding was that contract for them to just be able to just go on wear out, even though they're supposed to.
What's the clause? What's the clause in the contract?
Like, who's Panini's legal team? How have they allowed this to happen? Like, they're just obviously just peanuts through and through down there, mate. Just a
Multiverse. He says, watch everyone pump the very last set/box Panini put out. Panini have wrecked the hobby. They are sellouts, says Magda. Especially how Panini have approached redemptions lately. Yes, they've been terrible. Magda says, Dan, let's fight Panini. Panini's probably on his list. He's been going at him recently anyway. Panini are going to do Tour de France cards. Now patch cards of Lance Armstrong's piss tests. Glow in the dark. You've lost the plot. I should probably read Adam's comments before I bring it up straight away.
That's generally what you do. So I think you got you there, mate.
Magda says we might see Cricket Prism soon.
Oh, jeez.
Panini Prism lawn bowls. The rumors are that Panini have breached the T's and C's due to some hanky-panky. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. So they've lost it. Fanatics are coming into the space quicker than we thought. Well, looks of things, because they're meant to be 26, weren't they? 2026?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be one more year of Panini. After this.
Yeah. So surely, has Flawless come out yet for NFL? I don't really follow the releases. Flawless and Immaculate?
I wouldn't have a clue, mate, because I couldn't afford a box even if I wanted to, mate, because it's completely overpriced, hot pieces of shit.
I was informed, right, by the Oracle that when Upper Deck lost the license to Panini, the last few products that they produced were unbelievable. They just used all their stock.
Yeah, and I've heard people talk about this, and we were hoping that they would get some sort of situation.
Surely Panini does that.
Case. But who knows? Who
I
knows?
want them to come out.
They're probably just going to backdoor the game used jerseys and just find a way to make money off it another way. I don't know. They'll do something dodgy.
Yeah, that's true. That's a fair point. I don't know what happens here. We'll have to just wait and see how it plays out in terms of like product releases and what's going to happen. Dan says 2026 was when the NFLPA license did kick in. It's worth keeping in mind, though, they didn't have an NFL license, which meant 2026 would be unlicensed. So they need to get the NFL license. So they got the NFLPA license. They just need an NFL license. The NFL is just going to jump on board straight away, mate, because they're going to make money. Like, there's no difference between Panini and Fanatics. They could make.
To be honest, you know what's the problem with these with the NFL and the NFLPA? If they had half a brain, they would sign a contract with Panini and they'd sign a contract with Fanatics so they can make money off both of them and let them both produce cards. That would be the smartest thing.
I think Panini make unlicensed cards. I don't think people will care, and they'll just fill it with banger material they've been holding on to. I hope they do, Dan. I hope they do. And there's a reason why I hope they do this, because then it just proves that you could have gone and bought Leaf soccer cards, and it's no difference to buying Panini soccer cards and Leaf soccer cards when Leaf get better autos and create better cards, like quad autos of Pele, freaking Ronaldo, Messi. I don't care that they're stickers. Like, what do you reckon Panini use? They're sticker dump kings. Like, so it just proves if people actually go out there and buy their product, they do it for baseball. They got baseball's unlicensed because Topps has got the license over there.
Correct.
Just imagine people go crazy and they say, the hobby people in the hobby source, they turn around and they say, oh, we don't care. All of a sudden they don't care. Oh, because the patches are nice. So you're going to get an unlicensed card with a Dick's Sporting Good patch. And you don't care now. So, oh, man. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Anyway, Source, we're going to move on. We'll see how this transpires. I know Griff the Golden was on with Darren Ravel and he was talking about it today. I wasn't able to tune in because I was working. Jeff Wilson broke the story. Adam said you'd be pumping it with Uncle Kenny. They can do whatever they want. They're all idiots, if you ask me. Absolute lemons. Tracon Source. Let's get to something actually very positive.
Something good.
This was phenomenal. There's a lot of content taken at this show. Source is going to try and get some stuff
I'll have it out
coming out.
Tomorrow I'll have a video out.
We've got us two racing each other on an F1 simulator, trying to get a fastest lap between each other so you can enjoy some of that content. We've got a roaming Source. It's back. I'll tell you what, he handled himself very well. Very well. He interviewed all sorts of people. Went and had a chat to him. He was in his element. He was so glad to have it back. And then we just did a normal vlog. Just went through, give our thoughts. But we will give a bit of a thought on the show. The way it was run, unbelievable, Source.
Yeah, very well run by the team.
Everyone gets a lanyard.
Collective.
Everyone gets a lanyard. This is
our one said General Admission Sunday.
There it is. This is high quality card. It's not paper. Very nice. Everyone got one of these. The VIP ones looked unbelievable as well. The store holder ones looked great as well. So everything was different. The layout was good. I'd say, Source. It's pretty good. They had the artists at the front. Then they had the TCG comps along the side. And then they had the store holders. And then at the back, they had Source's boy, Mitsuhara Arita.
Mr. Arita.
Mr. Arita. So it was actually really good.
Charizard King, mate.
I don't know what to say. I was blown away by it, man. They put a lot of effort into planning and organizing this event, and I thought they did a fantastic job with it.
Yeah, they most definitely did. Look, if there is for me personally, I mean, we spoke to Gabe at the show, and you'll see that in the video that we drop out tomorrow, and you can sort of get a feel of it yourself when we're roaming around there. But the only thing that I probably could say is there's probably room to have more vendors and have more vendors in general. And that's probably the only criticism that I do have. But other than that, it was, really well set out, really well run. You had a bunch of different activities and things to do, not just look at cards. There was also the artist alley, and you had a trading area, you had this racing simulator. If you're into playing the TCG games, you could play Grand Archive tournaments, Flesh and Blood tournaments. I think they had Magic the Gathering tournaments, Pokemon tournaments across the weekend as
The
well.
stage was
So
unbelievable too. They broke a
yeah,
box of base set Pokemon
they did.
1999
They did. Yep.
on the
Pulled
stage.
Charizard and the lot. So the stage setup was actually very, very good,
Oh, it
like
was
elite,
fantastic.
where you could really hear what was going on that stage, whether you were standing right there or you were standing quite a while away. You could hear everything. And they had a good setup there, for the live break and so on. And they did a lot of great stuff, like getting artists to do some work exclusive to the day and getting that auctioned off online, having that money getting donated to charities and the like. So it wasn't just all about money generating for their pockets themselves. They also helped some
Gave
people in
back, yeah.
need and gave back to the community, which was amazing. And that actual base set break was a free break for anyone who'd been a loyal customer to Tra over the years that they'd been running, whatever it may be, over the last 12 months that they'd been, running breaks and things like that. And, essentially you got a free pack in the box. So yeah, just amazing stuff by them and the team down there. They just it was a really, really, really well set out event, and I feel like it's just gonna if that's the first one that they've done, and obviously you're gonna learn from your mistakes and learn from your experiences and have things that you can improve on. You're gonna hear people are gonna say certain things, and you're gonna take that on board and take on feedback and there's always room for improvement. But if that's the first crack that they've had and that's what they've produced, I mean, I could just imagine that if the ball gets rolling on an event such as this, it could really turn into something big in the end. Maybe could get to the point where there's two, they're hiring out two partitions at Jeff's shed there at the exhibition center, and not just the one. So that's a true possibility.
Source, it was lighting was unbelievable.
Yep, great lighting.
Layout was unbelievable in terms of the space.
Great. Yep.
You got a booth to yourself. The way you wanted to set it up is up to you. You can have it open so people can walk in your booth, or you can have tables around, close it off, have everything on there. It makes it a lot cleaner to lay it out. Your booth has the name of your stall on top of it, so everyone knows your name when you walk in there. You can have all your promo stuff as well, pull up banners, whatnot. That's fine, but your names are all on there. And I found out, Source, I've got the pricing. Yeah, there was some sports cards, Matty. There was only it was a
not too
handful.
many.
Not too
I
many.
I would say maybe there was 10 to 15% max.
Yeah,
sports cards. Really, probably more.
It was
10%.
very, very small.
A lot
very,
of TCG, and that's where I think there's obviously room for them to grow, and then themselves. Like even when we went into Trial Collective, the store, he said he's just starting now to sort of, he started in TCG and all that sort of area, but now he's sort of expanding a bit more into the sports and things, and this event has the possibility to be just literally a true, a really, really good hobby event, and could have everything there, and other collecting stuff as well. Not only just cards, and they could have people ones with figurines and things like that as it grows bigger and bigger. But it'd be good to be able to involve more sports cards and things in the future.
Dan says, is it once a year? Yes. Well, this is the first time they've done it. They did it. It was a weekend event, so it went over Saturday and Sunday. I was speaking to a friend of ours that had a store there, and he said he went into the weekend with a target of what he had to make in terms of his sales. He met 85% of his target just on the Saturday alone. Apparently, the Saturday was unbelievable. It was so busy. They couldn't even believe how many people turned out for it. They were actually in disbelief.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sort of like, I'm sort of, in our case, Tom, I'm not really a big fan of the big crowd. So, I was happy that we went on the Sunday and we got a bit more space. There was a bit more.
Yeah, because you get to see everything. You can go. Yeah.
It was a bit more space, but yeah, all reports were the Saturday it was bananas in there, absolutely bananas.
Yeah, but it got busy. Like we got there 15 minutes into opening. It was quiet, and then by midday, it was pretty busy in there.
Yeah,
Pretty
it
busy.
was.
Not as busy as the Saturday they said, but it was very busy. So they did very well for a 2-day event. Lighting was good. Booths were great. I found out the pricing. I got the pricing source. Keep it in mind, it's at Jeff's Shed. All right. You got a bigger space. You get your own booth. The lighting there is unbelievable. They've got food stalls already built into Jeff's Shed, so they stock all that up. The cafe is on the outside, so the coffee's all sorted. $440 for a day.
Yeah, $440 for the day.
$440 for the day. $880 for the weekend. I don't know. People have set up at the Hobby Hangout and other shows, and they're given various prices. We haven't had a definitive answer on what the official price is of some of these shows, but that's what you're looking at.
Now that's obviously
440.
something that you could split that with, someone else and so on. And there's ways that you can set up your booth in a creative way that you could fit quite a bit in there.
The other thing with Jeff Shed 2 Source, it gets so much foot traffic through there. People just look at what's playing on the day and they just walk in there and they buy tickets and come in, mate. It's as simple as that. It happens all the time. 440 for the day. 440 for the day, Dan. 880 for the weekend. It was a 2-day thing. So it's double. But I think that's at South Australia. Fair enough. The overheads aren't as big at the SA one. You got to remember, I think it's a bit more at the Melbourne one, Dan. I don't think it's 220. I heard 300 here. So I've heard some people say 350. I actually haven't got an actual figure. I'd love to get the figure. But 440 for the day, yeah. I don't know. A lot of traffic. People were making sales like crazy because it was marketed really well as also sourced.
Well, let's just put it out there. Our friends down at Card Fever, they had a run of repacks where they had 200 Pokemon repacks, right? The Gold Series, and I believe now, I could be wrong. I think it was $50 a repack or 2 for $90 or something like that along those lines.
Yeah. The golds was 60 and then
2 for 100, 60 each or
it was something. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, he sold out the whole 200. Now let's just say they're at $50 a pop. He sold out the whole 200. You do the maths, ladies and gentlemen. You do the maths, right? It's paid for his table. It's paid for his day, and that was just his Pokemon repack on its own. Obviously, if you had other singles there and things like that, you could sell those. So, yeah, look, a little bit pricey, but I'm telling you, for the organization and the quality of marketing that went into this event, it showed because they sold out all of their 2-day passes and only single-day GA passes were available. And, the people that turned up, proved that the marketing worked.
They even had their basketball ones there. Credit to them, Card Fever. They always give us some promo stuff, and we opened them at the show. Pokemon stuff, it was good. And like the Pokemon stuff, 100%. Like going to be giving these packs out to some cousins and stuff and some kids and doing all that stuff. We gifted a holo to a kid there at the show after we opened these for content. And
Couldn't believe it.
He was bloody over the moon, man. He came over, he was shaking our hands like, thank you so much. It was actually really nice. So glad that he enjoyed that. Dan said, what's the odds Doma pulls a Ronaldo in his Pokemon repack? Well, I'll tell you what, Dan.
Splendid.
I genuinely opened it at the show. There's a pack in here. There's an Umbreon. and there's a Ronaldo in the pack. He's then gone and given me another one. Oh, this is Saucy's one. But he made me open it. So I don't know. So, I open things and then, you hit another Ronaldo in a Pokemon pack. Look, there you go. I'm not taking the piss. See, they're all loaded. In all seriousness, I'm being a dickhead, as you can tell. But there you go. That's what's in here. These are the mini repack series stuff for the, like, if anyone's interested in them. MP Marty says 75 each or 2 for 140 were the price of the gold packs. They had a BGS 10 pristine gold card in there that was worth, I think,
They had also
about $600.
Anniversary
Zard
Japanese, Zard from 20th anniversary Pokemon.
This one I actually opened, mate. I didn't. I'm not going to be. There's no Ronaldo in here, but this was just their Jordan. They got like a Jordan repack.
Series only repack. Yep, Michael Jordan.
So he only hit. I think that's all the cards in here. Yeah, it's all just Jordan cards that are in there, like, which is pretty cool. And then we got a pack, which was a 94-95 top super color. Funnily enough, we opened it. It's unfortunate that the card was stuck and it got a bit of BBC residue or Kurt's Card Care residue on here. So I was a bit annoyed. But you know what? If we can use his kit, we'll probably be able to clean it up. But we actually hit a Dominique Wilkins Beam Team in the pack. Team.
Good hit from the pack too.
Which was hilarious. Matt says... if they can get more sport, we could have 4 regular card shows in Melbourne, although not sure the card show gets another run.
He's talking about the card show Melbourne down in Cranbourne, mate. He's not sure if that guy gets a run.
It won't get another run. It won't get another. I'm telling you, you're hearing it here from me, and this is no offense to whoever organizes that show. You hear it here from me because we are listeners of the voices in the hobby, as Sauce and I say, and they are not impressed with that show at all. Like, zero is their impressiveness of the show. If it doesn't happen again, they won't lose sleep over it, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. People were impressed last time, so
they were not impressed. They were not impressed. They weren't impressed on what was sold in terms of like who was going to be there. And then obviously the size of the second one. And then they weren't impressed that it was on a Saturday. They were not happy about that because there wasn't many people that turned out. So yeah, that's what I've heard. Matty, yes, 100%. The card show, the Melbourne Card Fair has been awesome. They're getting bigger. We've got this now. We've got the Hobby Hangout. But I also, Sauce and I said that the odds that, the opportunity for the Hobby Hangout, as we saw at the last one, they had like pop culture there, and they're starting to mix in with a bit of that pop culture influence, where there's pop vinyls as well as like TCG was massive at the last Hobby Hangout. 2 rooms that Jeff shared is very, very possible. Very possible. So, who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. They did a great job. Congrats to everyone at Tra for a fantastic show. Saucy, that's it from me. You got anything else?
That was it, mate. It was a good event, and it was good to catch up with Adam down there, and we went and watched the UFC, which was good, and punched down a steak down there at the Cass across the road. That's another good thing about that situation. If there is a big event, their 2-day event, if you're flying in from interstate, I mean, you've got a selection of hotels to stay around right there to stay there for that event. Should you fly in or travel down to Melbourne for the event, you've also got the amenities of the casino right across the road.
Yeah, we've got options for dinner after the show, drinks. Exactly. Like, we don't have to worry. Just go across and we'll find somewhere that'll let us absolute thugs in. So I'm telling you, it was actually awesome. The Oracle was there too. We can't go without shouting out the Oracle. He was down there doing his thing, his wizardry. But some good news, even more good news to end the show. In 2 weeks' time, the people know. I'm just putting them on because we put it in our group. In 2 weeks' time, we're probably going to have this podcast with about 10 minutes worth of sport content, and then we're going straight into a hobby round table source. But I reckon it's going to be an everything round table. I don't think it's just going to be hobby. It's going to be sport. We've got 2 people coming on. We're going to try and bring this feature to the channel at least once a month if we can. Potentially once every 6 weeks. But it's going to be live. We're going to have regular guests on. They're going to be people that you know. And we're going to do about a bit of a round table discussion. And it's going to be live. So you can come in the chat. You can ask them questions. You can shoot off whatever you want. We might even do some razzes. We might do some breaks with some loaded boxes. Who knows what we're going to do? We'll probably even come up with the double coverage BBC wrap on the show. Who bloody knows? The world is our oyster. Saucy might even start OnlyFans. Who fucking knows what's going to happen in 2 weeks' time? I'm actually quite concerned on the channel could be cooked in 2 weeks. I'm being serious. It's done. It could be absolutely done. We might have to go to Rumble full time. Straight up. 2 weeks. Get ready for it. Put your countdown timers on because it's happening. It's going to get out of control. And on that note, thanks again for tuning in. Keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. And peace.
Peace out, ladies and gents.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports. Double curve.